What's up, guys? It is that Panda Gun. I'm here again with another video, and today I did want to talk about the recent banning of all these bots. The helpers, as people call them. I don't have any footage to really do, so I'm doing AFK bounties, so I'm just having this shown in the background. But I found this really interesting, and I honestly thought it was like a pretty good thing to kind of, I guess, bring up discussion about. Like, is it really a good or bad thing if the bots get banned? I mean, I think a lot of people are gonna agree like, oh, it's not a good thing, and then the people who don't have access to bots are also gonna be like, well, it's not fair that all these people who have bots or buy bots or make them homemade, it's not fair that they have the bots and the access to it. But then there's also the other side of the argument where it's like you're already going to be using speed ups, you're already probably going to be buying packs, but outside of like, it's already hard enough. Oh no, I'm going to get killed. It's already hard enough as is, right? To keep up constantly in like big PvP fights. It's like at least during like big field brawls, right? Let's say my towers are getting sieged and I'm swarming at rallies, or I'm field fighting, whatever the case. I'm more likely to run through my speed ups. I'm more likely to buy that $10 heal pack that heals 400k troops during that big field brawl, and it's already very expensive in general. So in between these fights, it gives me the chance to be able to micro heal and be capable of, I guess, getting more action, getting more kills and stuff. And I think the argument on the other side is, hey, this is just going to make it to where less people are fighting. There might be less actual money coming in because people are fighting less. But I don't really know how this is going to exactly impact the game. I don't know how this is going to work, but it is kind of interesting to think about. And I wonder how they're actually detecting bots. I have a ton of prime little filler accounts here. They're not really help bots or anything. They actually are just like for resources. So I kind of didn't expect them to get banned, but I was wondering, like, are they just banning indiscriminately based off of like a ton of like small accounts that are, I don't know, getting tons of helps? Are they doing it based off of like click patterns? Like, are you clicking the exact same spot all day, every day? You know what I mean? Like repeating repetitions. Maybe are you getting 30,000 helps in a day every single day for island raid or AR? How is that really determined? There's no real way for me to like know that, but it is kind of interesting to think about, like, how are they kind of determining who they're gonna ban? You know what I mean? I heard like there's this, I forget what the name is, but I think there's these like services that people buy. I forget what the like main person is, but apparently think a lot of their bots went down as well. Which, if they're using the same program, they're doing this all across all these accounts. I imagine there's also some sort of way to like IP all the accounts together, but I don't know if the game would actually like do that, or they would use that as like a plausible like thing to be like, oh, well, all these accounts are tied down to this one person, so now we can ban them. I don't really think they do that, but I think it'd be pretty obvious at some point, like, especially if, like I said, you do the click patterns. Like, if you have a macro that's just auto clicking, or even if you just have an auto clicker, they're literally spam clicking the same spot for an hour, for 2 hours, for hours throughout the day, just constantly macroing. And this would force people to maybe change it up at how they're kind of like clicking, right? Because I think there's certain macros, I feel like I've seen something before where you can actually change like how like you'll I forget how it works, but I think I've seen it to where, like, you can have it to where there's like 4 or 5 however areas that it'll potentially click in, right? And basically you have like, maybe it's like a toss the dice, or maybe it's just like going in different, like in motions or whatever, but basically you have it clicking in these different spots, but they're still accomplishing the same goal. It's just making sure that you're not kind of getting caught by like some sort of system that's trying to do that. Either way, I don't really care too much. I will say, like, obviously, we do have our own, but it's like at the end of the day, if we do lose it, my question is, like, is it really going to be massively negatively impacting us? I'm sure it's going to hurt in some sort of way, but I'm like, will this, like, I honestly don't know, but will it up our win rate? Will it lower our win rate because we're fighting teams and we're more reliant on kind of our speed ups in the bags? I mean, obviously, this does lean in favor of whales, especially if you look at like Apex Warzone. I mean, even without the bots, I'm sure these top alliances get helps extremely fast. These alliances are much more hyperactive. They're much more just strict as well. Like, I'm sure you could get players to just stay online more actively and like clicking help by like making it a requirement, and even just like paying attention to who's helping how much, and being like, hey, we recognize you're not clicking help enough or whatever the case, right? But it is just something interesting. Question I also have is if you're like auto helping on a bigger account, would they ban that, or would they kind of make exclusions for those because they don't want to get rid of actual players? I mean, it is in the TOS, which makes something like botting actually against the terms of service. But I mean, the same thing applies for like selling accounts, which, to be completely fair, I don't think these games really normally care if you sell accounts. This applies to almost any base builder I've played, but I think the issue is these games don't want to be held responsible if you get scammed or something. That's why they usually have terms of service. I mean, it applies for a lot of stuff, right? But it is kind of interesting to think about. I mean, at the end of the day, they do have the grounds to ban this type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section either way what you guys think. I just wanted to kind of open up discussion on this, but I do appreciate you guys for watching as always. I do hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. That is about it, and peace out.